Powfu, do more of this. This is the Powfu I love. Like I like, to me, this is that's what I want to see. Like sometimes he just gets way too romantic. It's your boy Rap Philosophy here, coming back with another album reaction. This time we're gonna be doing Powfu. Before we get started, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for hip hop reactions, album reviews, and music reviews. Powfu is one of those artists. It's so cliche because I stumbled on him, of course, through a TikTok song. So his TikTok song, his song Deathbed, was his viral hit that everybody knew him for. 2020. I don't know if it came out in 2019, but definitely early 2020. He's taken everything by storm, lo-fi hip hop. Let's do his album review. He came out with a fairly short EP called Some Boring Love Stories Part 5. Now, this time we're gonna be doing some of these songs. This is my first listen. I'm a Powfu fan, so I am expecting something solid from Powfu. Let's check it out. So we're on track 1.
Think it's cool, it's cool on the 4th of July.
Hey. This song is called The Fire in Your Eyes Keeps Me Warm. It's something kind of interesting about how I think X used to do this, create these titles that are just very like regular old phrases that people would say. The fire in your eyes keeps me warm. Like you'd never imagine that that's like a song title, but only Powfu would say a whole sentence and make it a song title, which I think is cool.
Wrote you a letter and said I'm in love. Think I'm addicted, I'm feeling the buzz. Finally alone, these nights are the best.
This is exactly what I was expecting from his voice. I was expecting that Powfu. Obviously, there's some good feeling when you expect something from an artist and then you hear it and it sounds kind of like what you're kind of looking for. It's cold on the 4th of July and I watch fireworks inside your eyes. What a beautiful line. I always wonder if Powfu writes his own stuff. I never looked up where Powfu is originally from. I like the way he says the word fire. Like there's some, I don't know if he's from Connecticut. I don't know where he's from, like some kind of probably suburb, but I like the way he accentuates the words or the way he sounds when he says it, but the lyrics are really interesting. Track number 1, The Fire in Your Eyes Keeps Me Warm. That song was dope. What a great intro. This song, the feeling that someone has towards someone, when I hear him talk about this, it's like the love that he has for this girl. And I've heard Juice say this in another song. It's like that even the drugs and all this other stuff doesn't give him the feelings, but the eyes of this woman, this girl, that his girlfriend gives him, makes him feel real. So it's almost like this feeling like, I hope this is not temporary. I hope this keeps going, but I'm gonna vow to you that like, you make me feel warm, even more than the 4th of July fireworks. Like when I look at you, you give me those good feels. And Powfu definitely has that. Brings me back to me, like to the high school vibe. The feelings are definitely, they're much more stronger, I think, than they are when you get older. But all right, let's go to the next track. When the Hospital Was My Home, featuring Rocks Boy. All right, we're starting with the cough. So I don't know if this is gonna be about COVID or what's going on. Since I had my surgery, it's never been the same. I'm sick and it sucks and my friends barely. I noticed Powfu does this a lot. He talks about being sick or dying. Or I think when a rapper can touch that part of themselves, like, and bring it out to in their music, I think that's the best way to be real. It's like sometimes we have feelings and we have things that we only feel and know inside, but a lot of times we try to hide it because we don't want other people to know, because we fear like how they're gonna judge us. And then you see sometimes these videos go viral when people lay out these real things. So I think the same thing with rappers is like when they can talk about the things that they think they shouldn't be, but they do, it actually touches people more.
Your second is a blessing when you're standing at my side, and it's okay to say goodbye. It's okay to say.
Kind of reminds me of the song that went viral, which is Deathbed. It's like you're waiting for the feeling of someone to give to you, like say that they miss you, they love you, and you know that it could be over any time, and that's all you want.
But honestly, it's harder than we thought it'd be. Tell it to me straight. Favorite days are Mondays when you come and see me. Wish you would stay longer, but I know it's not easy.
The thing worse than dying is losing who you love. In this verse, he's talking about this person coming to see him, and the only thing that he wants is for that person to come see him in the hospital, and that's like his favorite day, and it's a Monday, and he's talking just about common, just like he wants to feel normalcy, by talking to this person who's coming to visit him while he's sick in bed and can't do those things.
Saying that you heal quick, it's been a couple days since things I push you through.
When I get to heaven, I will wait for you. So he knows that he's gonna go, and oh man, it's really touching stuff. When he gets, it's like he knows he's gonna die, but when I get to heaven, I'm gonna wait for you when you come see me. It's really depressing and sad. You know, I would say Powfu does a lot of this depressing, sad music. So let's go to the next track called 17 Again. It gets really tricky when I hear like the way Powfu is singing, and a lot of like new lo-fi, you know, emo rappers sing a lot like what I would say is 2004 to 2006, you know, alternative rock, Papa Roach type sound, the Yellow Card, the Taking Back Sunday sound. That, you know, these bands are not around anymore, but I see it coming back, the influence of that in modern hip hop, particularly in lo-fi and emo rap. And sometimes you question, like, is this really rap, or is it another kind of music? To me, that debate, I would say that it's hip hop, it's rap, and I think like maybe rock could be making like sort of this comeback through hip hop. You could definitely see that sound infused through hip hop, and I think it's cool. I don't want to say that it's not hip hop. I want to say this is rap, and rap has become alternative. There's alternative rap. There's, you know, lo-fi, emo, and that's cool. It's diverse. You know, it doesn't have to be trap music. It doesn't have to be NBA YoungBoy to be considered rap. And I like all those artists, Trippy, but like, you know, I think it's okay to say, yeah, this is rap. And when I find it odd is like when people try to take anyone who has any kind of alternative sound out of rap and say, oh, that's not hip hop, you know, which I think, again, that's all debatable. So I'll save that for another video, because I could see some people also not wanting to be labeled as rap if they want to do other kind of genre. This sound is really interesting, man. This is definitely something unique in hip hop, I would say. This song 17 Again, I would say, you know, now that I'm towards the end of the track, you know, it's I respect this. It's not my cup of tea, you know, but I get Powfu and I get what he's doing. While I just said that hip hop is very diverse, again, now we're getting into like, is this really, you know, hip hop and that, and again, you know, that's debatable, but it's the same theme where he's talking about, you know, a girl, meeting her, wanting to see her on 7th Street again, and the song's called 17 Again, and I can definitely remember, like, in that time period, the extreme emotion behind seeing a girl that you probably called it love back then, but super crazy for lust and insanely, you know, passionate about. And like, when you have that separation and you want to give yourself that person, sometimes you can't see them for various reasons. They go with someone else, your parents, whatever, but the longing to want to be with that person and the feeling of being crushed. But he says here in this song that, like, you know, how the college parties makes him sad and all that stuff. And I see that a lot in hip hop. I know there was an interview with Juice WRLD, and he said that he didn't like going to parties, you know, and I think nowadays there's a lot of people like, not antisocial, but like people, you know, with technology now and all these things that people are somewhat not physically always connected, that it's created people to kind of be this distant, and sometimes people are more comfortable being by themselves or get a little, you know, nervous being around people. So that's something very common that I hear. A lot of people now want one-on-one connection with people. They want to be more intimate and close with people, not necessarily so much like in these big parties. The next track is track number 4, Throw It All Away, featuring Jomi.
If you want, we can both be friends. We can make all the way while we holding hands.
So like, to me, this is what I like. Like, this is where I think it's okay. Like, this is where it picks me up, where it's infusing the melody with the hip hop, because at first it starts off with this piano and you're like, okay, come on, Powfu, like, let's not get too romantic here, you know, but then he like throws in the trap beats a little bit, claps, you know, and picks up his voice. And that's what I like about Powfu, the lo-fi hip hop sound, the infusion of that alternative rap, emo rap. This is kind of what I want to see from Powfu.
If you want, you can be my girl. I won't be here when the whole town sings. Life is better when you got no plans.
Life is better when you got no plans. Throw it all away while we're holding hands. It's a very controversial topic. Having plans, you know, like, versus people. There's people who are very spontaneous, can't stick to like a regimen, can't stick to a deadline, timeline, are always late. And I used to always think like that was wrong, that there's something wrong with that person. But I come to find out that, like, the sociologists don't say that, like, there's some people like that and some people who are more by the books and want to be you know, have a deadline. So while I do think like people should plan and have goals, it is questionable, like, to what degree, because things hardly ever turn out the way you plan them. And sometimes when you just kind of step back and let things unravel, sometimes things happen.
Tell me what you think.
I really like the trap, like, mixed in, the claps and the, you know, the rap beat in the back of this. I don't want Powfu to lose that. I hope he doesn't go too much towards, you know, the romantic alternative sound. Hey, This Jomi guy is good. I like this. You know, I think that's important for Powfu to keep these features with. I think he should do this more. I think Powfu should have more features with more people who rap, because I think it enhances his sound.
Baby, can you be my best friend? As I'm ready for a wild dance.
I like this one. This is gonna be one of my favorites on the EP. I like the sound. One thing I wonder about Powfu is a lot of times his features sound very similar to him, and I wonder if he has a little more contrast. You know, I mean, I think people who like Powfu like that lo-fi sound, so you don't want to stray too far away, but I think sometimes he needs to have a little more contrast. Track number 5, Stay Forever featuring Monica.
I think about you all the time through my daily routine. Easy for me to say.
So there he goes and Stay Forever again. He starts off really slow, but then he hits it with that, you know, some of the boom bap hip hop. So I like that about it. It's okay if you don't win every fight, only darkness comes in the night. That's a good line, because like sometimes we do feel like we have to win everything. And I think that becomes like, that's overwhelming and stressful for people. It's like they think like if they're in a battle or whatever they set out to achieve, they have to get it. I think it's cool to acknowledge like sometimes you can't get it, or sometimes you fail, or sometimes you lose. And I think acknowledging that is probably impactful. And I think that's what the point of this line is. I heard someone else say something really interesting where it's like sometimes, and I think this like really works for 2020. It's one thing to thrive, right? Like everyone wants to thrive, but sometimes it's okay just to be surviving, because if that's what the condition is of the situation and you just have to survive, sometimes that's all you need to do is like you just need to kind of survive the situation. You don't need to like take it by storm, because it's just way beyond you. Like 2020, like who's killing it in 2020 and who's kind of just trying to make it through the year. This is definitely like, I like that lo-fi beat. This is, you know, when people are calling it lo-fi, I always consider it emo, but you can hear the lo-fi in here. One cool thing I like about Powfu is like he has these features with a lot of people that you don't know. I think a lot of times rappers like forget about including features and collaborating with. I don't know any of these features. Sometimes the person you're featured with, that person could be really good, can make the song. Sometimes I think people worry like, oh, people are gonna like the other feature better than me. No, it's like if I like you, obviously I'm listening to your song, and then I like who you put on as a feature, and I like that person too, then I'm gonna make a connection. I'm always gonna like both. So let's go to track number 6, No Promises.
I can make promises, but they'll break.
He said, I don't want to say too much because I'm weird. I don't want to make promises because they'll break. I know a lot of people feel that line. I don't want to say too much because I'm weird. And I think that's something that a lot of people who do feel that way need to put that to the side. Sometimes we don't say things because we think it's going to go against the grain, or we think it's going to sound weird, or we think that it doesn't. But you know what? The reality I've come to find is almost everybody, no matter how confident they are, has a story, has an opinion, and doesn't know if that opinion, right, is going to resonate. The reality is that no matter what, you just have to say what you feel, you know, you just have to say your truth. This song is fire. I like what he's saying. He's basically saying like no promises, because almost, you know, he's telling the story of the person or the feeling that nothing goes the right way. You know, nothing goes as you planned. It's like, I can make a promise, but I know that I won't keep it. I could say I'm going to change, but I know I'm not going to do anything.
You should leave my room. You're so beautiful and perfect.
It's about someone feeling worthless almost, or low value, or not feeling like they are important. This sounds dope. But I think for this emo, sad rap, lo-fi hip hop to take off, I think we need a little more variation in the vocals. I think a lot of times people are sounding too similar vocally. All right, let's go to the next track, number 7, Clash of the Titans.
It's a lot, but you never get touches. Next time I'ma shoot back.
I will do more of this. This is the Powfu I love. Like I like, to me this is that's what I want to see. Like sometimes he just gets way too romantic. Why this works to me is like everything contrasts so well. You have some rock melodies, you have some trap beats, his voice, but then he brings in the rap. Like I just like the contrast of this, man. Like this reminds me of Juice, Kid Leroy. Like hey. Yo, this song is crazy fire, bro. Like this is a gem on this album, man. That song Clash of the Titans, man, that's gotta be one of the best on the album for me. Again, it's less than 2 minutes. They say a lot of times artists get some of their best music. Like Juice WRLD said he did like All Girls Are the Same in like 20 minutes, you know, same thing with like Lucid Dreams, and those were like his breakout best hits. The last track on the EP, Silver Linings, number 8. Don't walk along the outside or else you'll be empty on the inside. If you try to stay only so cautious and you never kind of just do the thing, you know, you're never gonna get the fulfillment and satisfaction. You know, this song Silver Lining sounds really interesting. It sounds very theatrical. You know, I could hear this, I could see this like in a theatrical play. Like,
talk about the day we felt. I know you think that we should.
okay, all right, I just finished listening to this album. Here is my feedback on the album in general. So the Powfu Some Boring Love Stories Part 5. It's a short EP, 8 tracks on here, but honestly, you know, this could be an album. I mean, I think a lot of albums now are fairly long, like it's getting kind of ridiculous with like deluxes and those kind of things, but I think Powfu is still at the stage where he's kind of just dropping music, seeing how it works. You know, 8 songs is too short, I think, to become a full album. In terms of the sound of the album, I think the sound is kind of what we think of Powfu. I do feel that sometimes the Powfu sound can be a little too romantic and vocally, and I think that's okay. You know, I just think for me, I like the deathbed Powfu, but I find that a lot of times, like artists who blow up, a lot of times it's a really good hip-hop song that blows them up, but then for some reason they start going down these different paths. Like, you know, Post Malone became one of the biggest rappers who said, I don't even want to be called a rapper, but his first song was White Iverson, which obviously clearly had such huge influence, rap influence inside the song. It's up to him where he wants to take it, but I like the Powfu that has some alternative sound with lo-fi sound, with some trap beats, with take his vocals high, but then also bring in some rap. That's the Powfu I personally want to see. I think this album had a lot of the vocally stuff, but you know, I think it was a decent balance. I mean, my favorite song was definitely Clash of the Titans. I didn't expect that to be one of my favorites. Throw It All Away, I think, was a great track. No Promises, where the songs I think were generally very romantic, mostly about either being sick or missing a girl or being in love or not achieving kind of what you're setting out to achieve. It's funny because I checked his Spotify has like these categories that they give. They only have one category under Powfu, which I find very strange because he's one of the biggest, most influential in his genre. They just have him as sad rap. That's all the they don't even have him listed as rap or lo-fi rap or emo. It's just called sad rap. And some of his artists that are similar to him, they have lo-fi rap. In general, the genre of alternative hip-hop, emo rap, different subgenres within the alternative rap sound, but I just like to call it alternative rap. And it reminds me of like alternative rock scene when there was like rock and roll, but then there was like this alternative, you know, rock. And I think like Powfu, there's like this like general like kind of like rap hip hop sound nowadays, but then there's this like alternative sounds. I think like are like the Ian Dior. I kind of think Juice WRLD is a little bit alternative. Trippy is semi, but there's Kid Laroi. You know, there's some alternative sounds that are here, but Powfu is definitely way alternative. So you know, I think the album in terms of a rating, I would give it a 7. I'm at a 7 out of 10 because I like Powfu. I think he's in his own lane. He's doing his own original thing, which is cool. I'm not too into too much of the romantic stuff. I think it's okay, but sometimes it reminds me of too much old alternative rock, and I want to stick with hip hop. I want to see the fusion of rock or whatever you want to call it, alternative trap beats, you know, whatever you want to do, but just keep it together. You know, a lot of times, you know, I feel like white rappers, people give them a hard time sometimes. I feel like it's harder for a white rapper, in my opinion, to shine. I think people kind of prejudge them, like, oh, this is not your genre, this is not, you know, your music. And it's kind of like, there's a lot of these Powfus, there's a lot of these white rappers who are really trying to come into the scene, you know. And I think there's other white, you know, artists who are really making an impact on hip-hop now, and I think people are not giving them the light. But I think when these shine, like the Kid Laroi's, the Powfu, people are really going to open their eyes that rap has become super diverse culturally and in every type of way. So I think that's cool. That's one great credit I give to Powfu. Thank you guys. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.